and years ago, during Bible times, they always had watchmen on the wall. They had watchmen on the wall at 6 o'clock in the evening, 9 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 3 in the morning. And so all night long, while people were resting and sleeping, watchmen were on the wall. So if the enemy came, even during the day, they'd know what's going on and they could prepare for it and be ready. During the time of Nehemiah, when Nehemiah went to build the wall, remember they had a sword in one hand, or at least by the side, maybe not in the hand, while they were building, but they were always ready to fight if they needed to. Well, who told them if they were needed to fight? The watchman on the wall. So how do we keep watch? I know a lot of churches are going 24/7, and many people who have, or pastors who have small churches are like, how can we go 24/7? We don't have enough people. But in my heart, if we had enough churches that were willing to keep watch, we could make a difference. We were teaching, my husband and I, over in Quincy, Illinois the other day, and I was teaching about the watches. And when I got done teaching about the watches, the pastor got all excited and he said, I didn't know what was going on. He said, God commanded and asked us, will you keep a watch for me? And he said all of us committed to it, but we didn't even know what it meant. So as I began to come and teach about watches, they're like, well, that makes sense. If every church would keep one watch a week, 9 o'clock to midnight, midnight to 3, 3 to 6, and we're like, who wants to stay up at those hours? Well, maybe we need to shift. Maybe every church doesn't have to have a 3 in the morning till 6 in the morning watch every week, all the time. But if they did it once in a while, then we can have a church committed to keeping a 3-hour watch once a week. If we did this in Illinois and we had enough churches, we would be able to keep watch 24 hours a day. And it wouldn't be too much for anybody, but it would be what everybody could do. And we could build a wall of fire around this state and around this nation. And when we do that, we will begin to cut the enemy off before he'd even be able to get started. Look what God's people would be able to do if they weren't constantly having to fight the enemy all the time. I want to see God's people be able to have a place of peace. And I believe if we would learn to keep the watches, to start with the watches of the night, not as one church or one group, but as a group of churches, then we're going to see a big difference in what God can do.